Danielle, no shade. Your behavior is like really out of hand.
Oh, who is you?
The prophecy is true.
Who am I? Hello. You are now tuning into NevNotVada Radio. I'm a 21-year-old Black trans woman who has been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder at the age of 18, even though my current therapist and I are still working out the logistics and trying to figure out, hey, is it borderline personality disorder or is it something else? However, a feature of borderline personality disorder that reigned very true for me was like a disturbance of identity or self. I have noticed having a distorted identity or like sense of self. I want to explore that together. You as the viewer and me as Nev, not Vada. I have to fucking pee. Why have you forsaken me? Mind you, this is my body. My bladder's a needy bitch. So, in my own experience, the symptom of identity disturbance, I would define it as a shifting sense of self. You know, some people even call it being a social chameleon, which has benefits and like some downsides. Socially, maybe there's a benefit because networking might be easier or fostering connections might be easier. If it's like a performance, like a mask, rather than like your true self or a role that you assume that you should be playing rather than one that you want to be playing in that moment, I think that's where the challenge comes in. One of the biggest downsides to it, per se, would be struggling to commit to values and like long term goals to stay consistent and not be so fluid. Fluidity is good. And at the same time, it can honestly feel like everyone else knows who they are. And you're like,
I know who I am.
super cool, fun girl that everyone likes.
Wrong answer, forehead.
That's not me. But it is me. But it's not me.
It's me, Jessica. I'm in here.
I feel like, you know, American movies, especially like coming of age movies set in like high school, they had the nerds slash the geeks, they had the jocks and the cheerleaders and the goth peoples and the hood people, you know. They had a little spice of life in there. Slice of life, spice of life. They had black people in there acting like black people. Pretend that I did not say that like at all. And I feel like growing up having watched those movies, I wish I could have been the cheerleader. Like everyone wanted to be the popular cheerleader. And if you didn't want to be the popular cheerleader, that's also okay. I leaned into the nerd. However, if you think about like how tropes have evolved or played out in real life, the nerd is what we would now refer to as the nice guys, entitled men who think that being good means that you deserve time, attention, sex. I'm not scared of demonetization. I haven't even been monetized yet. So, yeah, sex, the cat canoe, knocking the boots.
Yeah. We're doing this with all the ladies.
There was these tropes that you could align yourself with or assign to yourself or have assigned to you. The outcasts and the rejects were typically the nerds and whoever the nerds would hang out with. And I felt like I was an outcast and a reject because, well, I was queer. I'm like, well, I don't see no queer representation. I don't see no queer stereotype. So maybe I'm just a nerd. What? I'm not trans. I'm just a nerd. What are you talking about? There was power in being a nerd because the nerds were smart. And maybe they didn't get the love interest, right? Maybe the nerds weren't cool, but the nerds were going to go to college and they were going to get that bag and they were going to be employee of the month, period. And I wanted to be that. I mean, I'm already queer. I might as well at least make that bag. So I wanted to be a nerd. And I kind of was nerdy because I loved being called smart. And they're like, you're so smart, blah, 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 blah. But then that became a core identity. But once I left high school and people weren't calling me smart, I was like, well, fuck, who am I? I'm not just smart girl. I'm not smart, creative, artsy, cool, fun, fashionable diva girl because no one else is going to tell me who I am anymore. I'm not in high school. I feel like that's where the problem like came about. High school served as a middle ground where I could be everything, where I felt like I could be multiple things at once. I witnessed social cliques in high school, stereotypical groups or whatever, but also there was a lot of blending. There was a lot of blending. I was a hot nerd and my homegirls were hot nerds. People equate intelligence with being a nerd rather than you're just intelligent. It's kind of like, oh, you're a fucking nerd. I am not gonna lie, they also group people who wear glasses into nerds. Not like the little rectangular spectacles, the squarish ones, right? We all had glasses that were definitely nerd glasses. I feel like school served as that middle ground because I got to portray myself as mature and sensible and professional. I also got to joke around, and be immature at times and silly and fun and rowdy without being disrespectful because there's a difference between being loud or like vivacious versus like being a distraction or disruptive. I talked a lot in class, so I guess I could be disruptive. Girl, please go fuck yourself. Going into adulthood is really interesting because it's like, is my professional self supposed to take over because I'm like 21 and stuff and I'm supposed to be so much more mature and level headed and not make emotional decisions and always think wise and logical? I know who I am in professional settings. So I guess that's kind of figured out. But then there's also me, like when I'm just alone in my room and when I'm not being perceived by anyone, I'm like, how do I perceive myself? A lot of times growing up, I depended on those stereotypes as well as other people's perceptions of me. The adjective that was the most recurring throughout my elementary school days was faggot, gay, sissy, fruity, soft, feminine, flamboyant. That was a good one. Come on, y'all reading levels are elevated. You're so flamboyant. You're so peculiar and zany. You're so abstract. You're out of the box. You're bizarre. You're otherworldly. I couldn't turn the queerness off. So I think queerness has been a constant. Bitch, shut up. Doctors hate her for this one trick. Psychiatrists hate her for this one trick. I know you better than you know yourself. Wrong. Wrong. Why? Because I don't know myself. So if I don't know myself, you could be like, Nevada likes pizza. And I'd be like, damn, you do know more about me than I know about myself. Fuck, you got me all figured out. I would be gagged. I would be like, I ain't even know that. And you see how people's assumptions or statements can easily become reality. I relied on other people to help me define who I am, whether they knew that I was using their words or not. Because a lot of this is subconscious. If you tell a child that they're stupid, and they hear it from their peers and they hear it at home, they might just start believing that they are stupid inherently. But people didn't really call me stupid. They called me fucking gay. They were telling me that I was not normal. I was not cis heteronormative in my presentation. I was not getting the role of favorite boy in the movie that was my life. I was actually meant to play the cheerleader, cool, popular girl. That's what I was meant to play. But who am I supposed to be within specific relationships? I know how I am with friend A, but who am I with friend B? Or maybe I have that both figured out. With friend A, I am maternal. I take the lead. I do all the decision making. I am a leader when it comes to friend A. Friend B, I might take the back seat. I let them do everything. I let the control freak in me rest. I let it take a long, long dirt nap. And I'm like, you can think of everything that we should do because I'm doing that with friend A. Me and friend A, bitch, cause I pistol whipped that bitch for 40 minutes. We're going to the park. Friend B calls me.
Hey bitch, we're going to the movies.
I'm going to the movies. I'm sorry. I've been overruled. I just don't got that dog in me. I just don't got that dog in me. I have to pee. I also realize and acknowledge that I do not like to describe myself using subjective or absolute statements like, I'm a nice person. I'm a bitch. Oh my god, come here, little bitch. Don't fucking play with me, okay? Get the fuck in there. Close enough. When someone's like, oh, you're a sweetheart, NevNotVada is a sweetheart, NevNotVada is so gentle and caring and nurturing, I'm like, that's your reality. That is your reality. I cannot take that from you. If you have experienced me as a sweet, kind, loving soul day in and day out, I love that that's who I am when I'm with you. If something happened to me and like there was a fucking true crime episode about it and people were like, oh, NevNotVada just lit up a room, like, that's not right. That's not true. That's not true. Here's how it actually should go. So everyone loved NevNotVada. And she was just the type of person that, when she walked into a room, it got dark.
Oh my gosh!
She sucked up all the air in the room. There was like a permanent storm cloud just hovering above her head while she was overstimulated. She was actually like a terror. She was terrifying to be around. She would curse you out. She was a bitch. I miss her so much. I am so relieved that she is finally gone. She extinguished all the light in the room. They're gonna be like,
did you mean to say that?
yes. I wholeheartedly meant to say that. I actually thought about it on the way here. I thought about it a lot. How much I fucking hated her. I would be like, wait. I would show up in the mirror, like, when the next time that bitch went to the bathroom, I would show up in the mirror and I'd be like, I heard everything you fucking said, but you kept it real, so I can't be mad at you.
My name is Björk, and your television is just about to explode.
Like, now I feel like I have to list the phases that I might have gone through, because I guess they were core parts of my identity. It feels to me like, when a child is like, oh, I want a Barbie themed birthday party. Actually, no, I want a dinosaur themed birthday party. No, I want a Hello Kitty birthday party. Actually, I don't want to have a birthday at all because there's too many options and I don't want to pick and it's stressing me out. That's how my birthday feels as an adult. As a young adult, my birthday feels like that. I want to do this. No, I want to do that, actually. See how stressful that can be? I feel like at my core, like every personality quirk still has this like core of perfectionism. I don't like my birthday because my birthday just feels like it has to be the most perfect day, or I have to be the most perfect person. My hair has to be tea. My outfit has to be tea. My makeup has to be tea. I looked gorgeous as fuck on my birthday. I was satisfied with how I looked on my birthday though, no shade. My phases. I was really interested in like natural disasters for some reason when I was like 7 or 8. Um, I didn't make my dad buy me like books on natural disasters, but he did. He just picked up on the fact that like I was hyper focusing on natural disasters and not in like a panicked, oh my God, they're gonna happen to us and we won't know what to do. But like, how the fuck do these things work? Because my favorite question that I ever asked him was, why is the sky blue? And he looked it up for me and like tried to explain it to me. And I was like, I still don't get why the fucking sky is blue. But whatever. How are tornadoes formed? And I think he might have asked me if I wanted books on like natural disasters and stuff. And I was like, sure, fuck yeah. So then he got me this book on tsunamis, hurricanes, and this book on volcanoes. He also got me this book on dinosaurs. Like, what? Love my father down. Love my father down. He would not have got me a Barbie book at that age. I didn't care about that at the time. So,
Hey Dad, so I would like a copy of Mein Kampf. Thank you.
no. Nazis are bad. Hitler's a bad person. So why would you want to read Mein Kampf? That's that was never a how it's made video. I loved the Science Channel, and my dad got me books on space and astronomy. Not really astronomy, but like space and stuff. Thank you, Dad, for pouring into my fucking hyperfixations and individual personality eras. Maybe that was a part of my core identity, or like who I was when I was by myself was the things that I liked when I was by myself and the things that I found interesting. Maybe while recording this video, I'm actually figuring stuff out. Would you look at that? I couldn't imagine a woman transition to a man or a man transition to a woman. I definitely had a movie star planet phase, where like I was super focused on movie star planet and stuff. I had a Minecraft phase. That was my birthday party when I don't think I've ever had a Minecraft themed birthday party. I know I really wanted one. I had a Greek mythology phase. You know, I was into my Rick Riordan down. I didn't really have like a Norse mythology phase because like once my Greek mythology phase was done, you know, I tried Egyptian mythology. Read all of the King Chronicle books. They were they were good, they were amazing. I also read some of the Magnus Chase books. I was like 13 by that time, so I kind of was getting out of like, you know, topics and subjects and starting to hyperfixate on fan culture and unobtainable celebrity boys and trying to figure the fuck out how could I get my geesh. I love this. I like this boy. If I think I have a chance in hell, and if I want that man, I gotta find a way to get on the red carpets. Not as a reporter, not as an interviewer, as a co-star. I had the plan. I just needed the platform. I still don't have the platform. And also, any male celebrity that I had a crush on when I was 13, I no longer have a crush on. And it's not because they're ugly. I just ended up divulging and talking about a whole bunch of random shit once again. I had a Melanie Martinez phase. And this was back in 2015. I was 11. The entirety of sixth grade, I was a Melanie Martinez fan. Once I got into the seventh grade, I went from Melanie Martinez to Marina and the Diamonds. Marina and the Diamonds song Fruit had got me into Marina and the Diamonds. And, like, my Melanie Martinez phase was so bad that I played Carousel so many times that my cousin, she literally became a Melanie Martinez fan through indoctrination. I indoctrinated her into being a Melanie Martinez fan because I played Carousel like 59 times, and she was like, "This song is weird, turn it off." And then like 2 days later, she like texted me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, so like, remember that like song that I said was annoying? Like, it's actually T. And I've been listening to Melanie Martinez, and hey, I think I like Melanie Martinez now." And I was like, "What? Welcome to the dark side. Welcome to the dark side." I'm not gonna lie. I tried to wash, rinse, and repeat, and when I got into when I got into Marina in the Diamonds, I tried to get her into Marina in the Diamonds, and she was not living for it. She had solidarity to Melanie Martinez. So how's that going for you? How's that going for you? You should have came to the even darker side. And then in the eighth grade, I was like, I'm looking for something new. I'm looking for something mature. And so I started listening to Baby Mother somehow. I don't know how, but I was like, wait, I like this. And China. Um, and if you know who China is, sadly, she did pass away at the beginning of the pandemic. And she was from Philly, like me. She was from Philly, like me. And I loved that because I didn't know that at first. But something drew me to her. I will forever be sad at the fact that I will not get to meet her and ever be in the presence of someone whose music definitely helped me through a lot of frustrating moments. It was what showed me, hey, someone actually relates. And maybe not on like a specific instance sense, but someone relates to this level of anger or frustration. Because I was going from girly pop, soft music, you know, white feminine music, to black feminine music. And I think I stumbled on the word feminine because I think China's music is feminine. I think it is the antithesis to white femininity, though. I'm not going to further elaborate. If you want to know what I mean, take a listen to Fruit by Marina and the Diamonds, and then take a listen to Earl Grey Tea by China. There needs no explaining. An explanation not needed. Then I got into Lana Del Rey, kind of like was shifting between the two because having more complex emotions and situations and dilemmas and internal struggles and external struggles, I couldn't just be a one musical artist bitch to learn how to juggle. I'm not gonna lie. I think Lana Del Rey took over from that point forward. Lana Del Rey's new stuff, no. There's a special place for it. It's just not that time in my life. I went from Lana Del Rey is so grown up because she talks about smoking cigarettes and being with bad men. And that's so grown up. And that's just the vibe I need. That was not the vibe I fucking needed, but it's the vibe I wanted. Do people consider Lana Del Rey coquette? Like, do they consider Lana Del Rey to be like old money, soft, baby girl? Is that what people are like finding Lana Del Rey to be now? And I would understand, like, yeah, ever since Kim Charles Over the Country Club, I would say, yeah, I wouldn't even say her music was femme fatale, in the ultraviolence times. It was kind of like Tumblr grunge. That's how I was feeling the music was like sad, sad bitch crying about the same type of man 50 times over, laying in a bed of rose petals and smoking, and that man is horrible and he's going to be the death of her, to like, if she's still fucking with horrible old men, I guess. I don't know her fucking love life. But like, I guess these horrible old men actually, maybe they seem to be treating her nicely. Chemtrails Over the Country Club, her healing era, I guess. Nope, that man made a return. In Dark But Just a Game. My music taste is so randomly expansive now, but from like the end of 19 into like being 20 years old, I had a Bjork phase. I was very angsty. It elevated far past anything I had ever experienced. And Bjork just fit that. She fit that longing and sadness, but also like joy and happiness. And I would describe Bjork as a fucking question mark. I don't know how to describe Bjork. So like question mark. Like the texture is missing. Like, you ever had a nigga push you up to a state of emergency? Ever had a person just turmoil push you up to a state of emergency? I don't know what that means. I know what it meant to me. Push me up into a state of like urgency. No, like I meant emergency as an ambulance, like lockdown as in code red, as in tranquilize this bitch immediately, cause I'm about to spiral. I'm about to spirulina. I had a Courtney Love phase. I had 9 piercings in my face. Um, my wigs were definitely a thing. And a jack off Jill phase and a kitty phase. So like, hey, whatever. I don't know who I am sometimes, but I don't go asking around. Like, I don't go asking my friends, who do you think I am? That is a slippery slope into sometimes believing things about ourselves that we don't feel that great about, whether they be true or not. I think there's room for me to be many things and to contain multitudes. And maybe I shouldn't be trying to figure out who I am and how I'm supposed to be with all people in a generalized sense. Maybe I should just accept that there's room for me to be different parts of myself with different people, and for people to experience different realities of me, rather than forcing myself to be static and fixed and unchanging. I think that is the beauty of who I am and the beauty of people who can relate to me to whatever extent, highest extent or to a small extent. I think the beauty lies in the chaotic organization of it all and the fluidity of different aspects of ourselves. Um, I've been so like mean to myself a lot, and like I have to be this and I have to be that, and I have to be perfect. Whether that's I have to be the perfect girlfriend or the perfect daughter or the perfect granddaughter or the perfect sister or the perfect friend, and like I must be agreeable to everybody. I must be viewed as agreeable. I have to be like the best version of myself. I cannot be similar to the people that I dislike, or I cannot have the qualities that I dislike in certain people. I don't want to be flawed because flawed is bad, because people don't like flawed people. I feel like, especially in romantic relationships, and this is why I'm like, I guess, trying to undo that and unlearn that and move to a different, like, I guess, headspace when it comes to relationships, especially. I don't have to just shut up and say yes. Someone's reaction to me saying no does not mean that I should sway and adapt to be the most likable version of myself for that person. I should be able to speak freely from my heart, be able to say what bothers me, and stand on that. I should be able to say, hey, this is what I want, this is what I need. this makes me really happy and this makes me really sad. And that, like, fearing someone's departure or decision to opt out of being in a relationship with me, interacting with me, that shouldn't stop me, you know? That shouldn't stop me from speaking my mind. If anything, that should be more of a reason to speak my mind. Because anyone who was going to leave you for voicing discomfort, they shouldn't have been there anyway. So, on the topic of not knowing who the hell I am and trying to figure that out, needing to embrace that, who are you? And how do you feel about yourself? And who are you when you are not performing for others? And who would you like to be when you are all alone in your room at night? For now, I am signing off. And this has been NevNotVada Radio. Thank you for tuning in with me.